Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Analytical
Hello,
Amateurs.
everybody. Welcome back to Analytical Amateurs.
I wanted
Where
to say it.
professionals try to be professional. I'm Alcatraz. I'm here with Galactic Brain and Triple M. Say hi, guys.
He's Triple M. I'm Alcatraz, and
I'm
we're
Triple
Galactic
M.
Boy. Yes.
I'm Triple M, but I stole his intro because
Yes.
you never change it. You say the
yeah.
same thing every time.
You know, that could be a thing. We could change it based on the movie.
Hey,
have a
he's
gimmicky thing.
He's got to keep that.
Okay, well then, come on and slam, and welcome to Analytical Amateurs.
No,
Yes.
please, no.
Come on and slam.
No.
We're gonna wreck this conversation here on this podcast.
I'm gonna wreck it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wreck the internet.
But yeah,
I'm gonna wreck it.
But yeah, I'm Alcatafra here with Galactic Blame and Triple M. Say hello, guys.
I'm gonna wreck it.
Yes, that's
I'm
Triple M.
here in physicality, but not spiritually, because
I'm wrecking it.
I really don't want to be here. So
But yeah. So today we are discussing two interesting films. One that came out some time ago and one that came out recently. Those films being Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2, and Space Jam: A New Legacy. Yay!
It's
Come on and slam.
everybody, let's celebrate.
Yeah.
Come on and slam,
so,
and welcome to the slam.
The thesis of these...
I think we should talk about Space Jam second.
All right, then we'll do
Okay.
Ralph Breaks the Internet first then. Because,
Because I got about Ralph, and not due to just being neutral about it, but the film. I mean, I saw it on a plane going to Salt Lake City or something, and you could not get me to watch it any other way other than being in a plane and having nothing else to do. So it's pretty appropriate that that's the only place I watched it. And
I watched it today, and I can't remember anything.
I remember a lot of it, and not because I watched it a year ago, but because it was so forgettable. I think I immediately forgot everything I saw the second after I was done with it. So that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Slam.
Yay.
I mean, the thesis in general, I guess, is what we're discussing: two unnecessary sequels. You'd put them, but not just any unnecessary sequels, because unnecessary sequels are a dime a dozen in the movie industry. There are so many sequels that are just there for money, but this is just a sequel that doesn't even try to incorporate story to build on anything.
Unnecessary sequels that rely specifically on nostalgic attachment.
Yes, they are the most brand of brand products.
Audience. We're going to talk about IPs today, people.
Yeah,
it's going to be great.
And we'll just get into it with Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2, which, by the way, what a weird title. It's called Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2.
First up, biggest gripe. You got a character, his name's Wreck-It Ralph, his catchphrase is all about wrecking it, and you do not call the movie Ralph Wrecks the Internet.
Yeah, they even made a joke about that.
Yeah.
And I was just so confused.
Yeah.
I understand that the phrase break the internet is a thing that a bunch of 12-year-old girls on Tumblr say.
Yeah.
But wreck the internet is much more marketable in terms of, this is our brand character. This is the thing our character does. He wrecks things.
Yeah.
He wrecks the minds of little children and makes them think that movies like this are acceptable.
Yeah, it could have been funny if they had on the poster it shows breaks the internet and then they scratch it out and put wrecks the internet or something. But I'm putting more thought into this than the writers of the film did. So yeah, moving on. I guess.
We talk about how it encapsulates the problem that the Academy treats animation is the fact that was nominated. This was nominated for Best Animated Picture. I don't know what you're smoking here.
You remember what they did, right?
What else came out?
Yes,
Do you remember what they did?
Yeah.
Where in stores,
they put
3 months before the Oscars aired, there were stickers that said Ralph Breaks the Internet, Academy Award winner for Best Animated Picture.
Oh
so
God.
Disney was so...
Really? Are you kidding?
Disney was so sure that they were going to win that they put stickers out preemptively on toys. and then they lost to a good movie.
wait, what movie did they lose to again that year?
Spider-Verse.
Oh, duh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Forgot that came out in the same year, but yeah.
Wasn't it the same year that Incredibles 2 came out?
Yes.
Which also sucked.
Yes,
Oh,
no, so I
Lord.
was like legitimately again, I don't give a shit about what the Academy says
Mhm.
about, especially about animated pictures, because they don't know anything about how animation works. The fact that they treat it as a separate genre is insulting enough.
Yeah.
But anyway, point aside, is I'm gonna be so pissed if they screw off Into the Spider-Verse, which is arguably one of the greatest animated films made in the past like 15 years, honestly. Like, I cannot believe that the Academy is so stupid to put Ralph Breaks the Internet and Incredibles 2, which are either, painfully cringy at worst and awfully meh at best in the category as Into
lot of it is you gotta look at. Hold on, let's look it up. Animated movies, 2018.
There's not a lot of that's true,
Because
but
fucking Soul won last year, and it was pretty. Would you rather they have put fucking Sherlock Gnomes up against the goddamn?
Sherlock Gnomes came out that
I'm surprised that they didn't do that. They don't even put off of the
Let's
quality.
see. Was Isle of Dogs nominated? Animated movie.
Was it
Animated
that year?
movie.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was. I've got the list pulled up, and I've also got. Give me a second. I can't type and talk at the same time.
They put, because it's got Wes Anderson's name attached to it. It's either attached to it's either names or it's just like general companies. The fucking Boss Baby got a best animated picture nom. If that
Boss
isn't
Baby, Ferdinand,
also
Breadwinner, Coco. This is not 2018. What am I looking at?
you're looking at.
I think that was 20.
Oh, no, you are looking at 2018 because it's always the movies that come out in 2017. I think.
Okay.
Oh, well then
So
2019.
So it's 2019. You're
Yeah,
thinking.
okay.
Give me a second. We're gonna sort this out, listeners. I'm gonna I'm making a goddamn statement. Just give me a second.
Do it.
Animated film Oscar 2019 nomination. Here we go. Mirai, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Isle of Dogs, Incredibles 2, and Spider-Man. And let's look at what we had. We had fucking Smallfoot, which sucked.
Ooh.
The Grinch. Nope, that was. Damn it. Back to this list. Isle of Dogs, Early Man, which was sadly really bad. Smallfoot, Hotel Transylvania 3, The Grinch, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, Arctic Dogs. You see, like there weren't many good animated movies.
You're right. But the fact that it's honestly, it's
It
just
was either that or Hotel Transylvania 3.
How did Sony?
Or
did Sony
fucking Sherlock Gnomes.
I'd rather have seen Hotel Transylvania 3 over
They
Ralph.
do Gangnam Style in it.
But at least their animation is like somewhat creative sometimes.
True.
Adam Sandler does Gangnam Style.
At least they have like style every once in a while because their director is an actual fucking animator. Actually breathes life into something that isn't as corporate as Ralph Breaks the Internet. Is it me? Or you guys like? I can't even really tell the difference between a Pixar and a Disney movie anymore.
Neither can I.
Yeah, the art style, the way that the story is presented, it's all the same.
I'll tell you one thing.
Corporate.
One of the really only funny gags in the movie is when they're making fun of the Scottish Brave, the Brave one, the Brave.
Okay, the stuff was actually kind of funny.
But what I was leading to is like when they're making fun of her, they were like, "She's from the other studio." I'm like, "Is there a difference?"
Exactly. I honestly forgot.
Is there a difference between
Not anymore.
Pixar and? I mean, like, yeah, they put out different movies, but like, I mean, fucking Disney owns Pixar.
Yeah, you could tell me Frozen is Pixar, and I would believe you. I
mean, and like they have for a while. Like they've owned Pixar for a long time, but they still went off and kind of did their own
thing. Now I'm playing Lego Batman.
Like now they're just like, but now you can't even tell the difference between them anymore. And it's like, and they're like, oh, look, we got someone to actually play the piano. And I'm like, okay, cool. It's not really technically impressive. I mean, you're just making, you know what, that goes into...
Soul was so we are not We are not talking about
do a
what we
Pixar
came to
thought.
talk about.
We should do a Pixar. Yeah, we will do a Pixar
And
podcast in the
that's
future.
kind of the problem, and I was thinking of making a joke about this, is like, I have so little to say about Ralph Breaks the Internet that I wanted to just halfway through go, okay, let's talk about, like, fucking The Lighthouse or something. Let's just switch movies. But no, I have so little to say about this movie other than it's just Disney going, hey, guys, look at all this stuff we own. Look at all this.
You
do you like Marvel? Do you like Star Wars? Do you like Disney princesses? Well, guess what? It's all ours, fucker. Look at us poking fun at ourselves. Haha. Pay me more money. Ha ha ha.
We're so self-aware.
We're so self-aware, and that makes it better. Like the newest fucking Simpsons special, where Homer is like, this is what happens when Disney buys Fox. I'm like, you're not funny. We know that you're writing this about yourself. Poking fun at yourself makes it less funny.
It's lampshading. Is that the term? Like,
I guess. I don't fucking know. It's bad is what it is. Why won't my controller work?
It's low-hanging fruit. Like, it's like, oh, wow, the company's making fun of itself, but it's not doing anything about it. Haha, very funny.
Okay, let's actually try it.
I want to say, this movie hurt me not because of the corporate stuff, because Wreck-It Ralph is one of the few Disney movies that I like nowadays. One of the few modern.
No, I like the first one. The first one was creative.
It was really, really
one
good.
Of the first like Disney animated movies that was actually good and like.
Damn, I fucks with this.
Like,
it's got Hubert and Sonic. What more could you want?
Exactly. Like I was like, this is a way to have an original idea, to incorporate references to like old video game culture. This is like the only like truly good. It's not even a real video game IP, but it's like the only good video game movie, like the one true good one.
Like, it doesn't saturate, like it doesn't overstay its welcome with the references. Like it's enough, like, oh, that's kind of cool, but then like that's not the focus. They don't use it as like a narrative focus at all, which is not what the second one or Spam 2 do, but we'll talk about that later. I mean, it's just it's like, it's got a really good story. It's, it's got good characters and everything. The first one was really good. It was like one of the first Disney movies in a while where I was like, wow, this is actually pretty solid. And it's not just like passable, like it's actually a really good, heartwarming film. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like with that, I remember as a kid I wanted a sequel. It was one of the few movies I wanted to see a sequel to, because I thought there was a lot you could do with the world with these new characters. And when I heard they were getting a sequel this early, because look at something like Incredibles, which took over a decade. I was like, wow, it's getting a sequel this early? Okay. But then I saw the concept art, and I was like, they're going to the internet. Okay. I was very confused, if that makes sense. I was like, okay, I guess. It could be good, but yeah.
Narratively, it can make sense because it's like, okay, arcade stuff is cool, but like, I mean, a lot of people don't really go to arcades anymore. And that's like a decent commentary to have on it and to be like, okay, how does like internet game characters like translate into like the arcade game characters. Like I think that might be kind of interesting, but then they just start throwing like random shit in it. They're like, oh, it's Twitter. Oh, look, YouTube. And I'm like, what?
Why did the movie try to humanize pop-up ads?
Yeah, I was like,
why does it try to make pop-up ads seem like a good thing?
Mm-hmm. Like, look at, because again,
it's a little sus.
Comparison to the first game, the video game characters were given like identities and their own life struggles, and the worlds were made lively, and that felt interesting. And they try to do the same thing with the internet, but it just feels like weird. Like it doesn't feel. It feels like the stuff like with like the idea of like the first game, the video game world. They try to flesh it out, give everyone some personality, and it works. And it's an interesting world to explore with the different game locations. But for some reason, it just doesn't work as well with the internet. Probably because it just feels so like meta. If that, like, it's the same problem the Emoji Movie had. Like when I see you trying to humanize each of the emojis, or humanize like make firewalls a thing, or when they go to like the that secret app with like the Trojan horse and like internet trolls, I'm just here like I'm rolling my eyes because I don't feel like immersed. I just feel like this is too meta, if that makes sense. Like, and the same thing goes with the internet. Like, why are pop-up ads like salesmen? Why is everyone represented as like a little avatar? Why is Miranda Speaks in this movie?
Oh my god! I mean, because they don't incorporate it into like the narrative.
Yeah.
It's forced. It's there to be like, oh, there's this thing. I mean, in my opinion, like, even then it's not done totally well, but like the Disney princesses were like one of the only like cultural references that actually had some narrative sense, because they came back in the end.
Yes.
And they actually helped solve the plot. And then them meeting Vanellope actually kind of like makes sense.
Yeah,
but like
tied into something because she's a
that
princess
was like
too.
one of the only like funnier parts of the entire.
I am Groot. I am Groot. I'm funny. I'm Groot.
Gravy Groot.
Stanley cameo. And I'm Groot. And I'm funny. And I'm Groot. And Star Wars.
Triple M. You didn't watch till the end. You missed getting rickrolled by Ralph. Not about that.
I turned it off. I turned it off. I had like 20 minutes left. I couldn't do it.
That's fair.
It's just so boring. I've never seen an animated movie bore me.
Talk about the character assassination of Ralph in this movie.
I was going to get into that. Why is Ralph such a dumbass in this movie?
Vanellope still acts like Vanellope, but Ralph makes some really good decisions in this. He acts... Okay, this has been pointed out by other people, so I'm not going to claim this as my own opinion. But like when I heard about it, I was like, yeah, no wonder that felt really weird to me. Ralph is fucking creepy in this film. Again, I'm not the first person to point this out, so I'm not going to claim it as my original opinion. But I did kind of get, like, when I first watched it, I was like, something's like kind of weird here. But then people pointed out, it's like, you know, when I know that they're video game characters, so they're technically like ageless immortals or whatever, but like one is coded and like programmed to act like, you know, like a 10-year-old child, and the other is programmed to act like a adult man. And, you know, at the end where it's like all the clones and everything are just trying to go after her.
It feels like some creepy, like, anime lolly shit or something.
Creepy. It's really, it's it's not remotely, it's not even close to being, like, sweet or sad, or it's like, oh, I feel bad for him because he doesn't want to let his friend go, or, oh, that's so sweet, he cares about her. Like, no, it's way beyond that. Like, it's crossed the line, and it crossed the line a long time ago.
Legend has it. This was the inspiration for Cuties.
There is a way they could. There's a way they could have done that where it wouldn't have been creepy. But I don't know, like, what they were thinking, where they were like, they didn't stop and be like, maybe it's kind of weird that we're getting an adult man to chase after, like, a small child and be like, don't leave me. Like, I don't know what didn't make them stop and think, like, maybe this isn't such a good idea.
Yeah, they could have, like, I think it would have made more sense if they played it like a father-daughter relationship as opposed to best friends. Like, maybe if, like, Ralph was, like, super protective of Vanellope because he didn't want her to get hurt like a parent or something, then he had to let her
an
go.
older or something.
Yeah.
Literally anything other than, like, what they did, really.
Yeah. But other than that, like, he's just an absolute idiot in this film for no reason. Like, because Ralph was, while he could get ahead of himself in the first film, he wasn't a dumbass. He was just, like, a guy. Like, he was your average guy with big dreams or whatever.
Ralph was an idiot, and that's pretty much the whole movie. You could just call it Ralph is an idiot.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of the plot just gets stirred by him. Yeah, a lot of the plot is just stirred by him doing moronic things that just don't make sense for his character.
Ralph breaks his character arc.
Yeah, Ralph breaks more like Ralph breaks character. I'll be here all night, folks. But yeah,
and a lot of this felt like whoever was writing this is so out of touch with current internet.
Oh, yep.
Because this might just be me. This might just be my side of the internet. But cat videos have not been like a popular thing
for like 10
since
years.
the internet started.
You're like 15
cat videos no longer dominate YouTube. Now it's gross Minecraft twinks, right?
That's one
and also, just it was never more apparent that they didn't know what they were talking about than in the scene where he reads the comments, right?
Oh my gosh!
Because
can we talk about that scene? Yes, that scene.
I get that it's a Disney movie, and you can't be like vulgar, but in real life, I think someone calling me a poopy head on the internet is like, okay.
It's like a meme.
I've been called racial slurs, and I'm a white guy.
Like, it can get so much worse.
like the character comes in, she goes, "Yeah, this place brings out the worst in people." I'm like, if you honestly think that saying Ralph is a duty face is the worst a person can go, then oh my god, you poor thing.
Where's the live leak world?
Like, they would have been calling Ralph a fat fucking idiot with no friends who fucks his mom and kills people. It's just, they would have been tearing him apart. And yeah, I know it's a Disney movie, but it's like, wow, you could have done better than, haha, he is stupid and dumb.
Yeah, for real. It feels like just like the joke. It feels like one of those cringy PSAs that you see on like Disney Channel when you're like 10, of them warning you about mean comments on the internet or something.
Bullying is not poggers.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, also, side note, small nitpick, like, that I don't even get what that scene's supposed to be, like, never read the comments because people will be mean to you. Like, to that I say, grow some balls. If you're gonna post shit on the internet, then expect flame.
Also, it's never brought up again.
Yeah.
It is never brought up again. It feels like it's just kind of, hey, what if we had a scene where he gets sad because of the comments, because people on the internet have comments, and they're like, okay, yeah, and then next scene we'll go back to the plot.
Yeah, like, I don't know what they're even doing with that.
Contribute anything.
Like, honestly, okay, y'all listening, someone in the comments, please type that we're like, what was the word? A poopy pants? Please
poopy
type
pants.
Analytical Amateurs is a poopy pants channel in the comments.
Booty braid.
And you'll probably get pinned.
Ralph the movie maker is a kooky, not movie maker. Damn it!
I know it's
every time we say Ralph, I think we're talking about like Ralph Seppi.
Ralph the
talking
movie maker.
Yeah.
Ralph Seppi breaks the internet with his Joker review.
I have nothing to talk about with this movie. It just happened to me. Like, I just sat there and it happened to me and it was cringe. And I want to talk about fucking Slam Jam.
Thing.
But, we'll...
The last core
keep going.
I mean, for one, I want to just talk the internet world. We already talked about comments, about just the world in general. There's just, it feels weird because, like I said before, there's no, like, because Wreck-It Ralph is about video games, so why are we jumping to the internet? And at the very least, why not more internet video games, right? Like, that could be...
No, you go, we don't need to talk about the internet world, because there is no internet world here.
Exactly.
It's, like, non-existent. It's relegated to gags, superficial references that are way too old because everybody who fucking wrote this movie was, born in like the 60s or the 70s. Which
that's the problem with writing a movie.
No offense to people born in that time period, but I mean, there is a reason why why writers say, write what you know about. You write what you know about, because if you don't know anything about it, then the people who do know things about it, it's just going to take them out of it. And, fact of the matter is most of the people watching this are going to have a pretty good idea of current internet culture, because again, this is a movie for children. So the fact that nobody seems to get this is bafflingly...
Well, that in and of itself is the problem with writing a movie with the internet at its core. If you were... Okay, let's say January of 2021, I start writing a movie about the internet, and I'm like, what's popular now? Big Chungus is popular now. I'm going to include a bunch of... Yeah, no, when the movie comes out in 6 or 7 months, there's a good chance that Big Chungus ain't going to be funny no more.
Yeah, and
then it will just...
is conservative. I mean, 6 or 7 months is probably how long it's going to take you to
You're lucky if you are lucky if a reference lasts 2 weeks.
For real.
Fortnite it has got to be one of the only things that has been like a constant, lasted for as long as it can.
Even then, it's not even like relevant like culturally. It's just the thing
and
people
fucking
know.
Among Us, I guess.
Minecraft is
fucking
like the main thing now, and Among Us. Like,
yeah, but Minecraft isn't like a cringe, haha, we're gonna reference it. It's mostly just kind of like a staple of internet culture. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, like in the new, I can't believe I'm about to utter these words from my mouth hole.
Oh boy!
In the trailer for the newest Boss Baby movie, the female Boss Baby goes, "You work for me now, boomers." Yep. But the "Okay Boomer" meme hasn't been referenced for like a good year now.
Yeah, because they probably wrote it a year ago, and there you go. It's already irrelevant. Like
you have to either constantly update your movie,
or just not write the
with new jokes, or just don't write cringe jokes that could like not like.
There is a
Fortnite
dab joke
in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, there is a dab in Avengers Endgame.
Good writing is timeless. Good writing is timeless. It's going to be funny, or it's going to be good and entertaining, no matter what audience watches it at what given period of time. You got to look at yourself and your product and be like, is 30 years from now, are people going to like get the gist of this and relate to it at least in some way? Maybe they might not get a reference or two, but like, are they going to get the overall thing? Mm-hmm. I mean, Wreck-It Ralph I don't even give a shit about the title. Okay, this movie is like, it already came out and it was already outdated. Like, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like in like 5 years from now.
Good
it's
Lord.
Just it's insane. I mean, because I don't even have any words anymore because it's just so bafflingly terrible and lazy and like clearly nobody knows anything about internet culture in this, and even if they did, it doesn't matter.
What else would you like to talk about? Because
I guess in general, I want to talk about Vanellope and just her arc in this movie.
Vanilla Ice?
Vanellope Yvonne Schweetz. So
Ice
like,
Ice Baby.
her whole arc is that basically so this threw me for a loop because the first movie, Vanellope is an outcast who is trying to finally fit in. She's judged by the world for something she's not responsible for. It's a pretty compelling arc. She finds out she's a princess of Sugar Rush, and she finally gets accepted into the game she's wanted to be a part of for all her life. It's a great story for her. And then in this movie, as soon as it opens, Vanellope's like, you know what? I'm done with Sugar Rush. I want another life. And I'm just sitting here like, really? Because
the thesis of the past film was
the entire film was about that. And now she's just like, lol, I want to do something else. And she wants nothing to do with
I'm going turbo and nobody can stop me.
So that's when she finds like Slaughter Race and she likes that instead. And she wants to do that. And that contributes to her and Ralph drifting apart. And I get it for like the thematic theme of like friends drift apart and want different things. And that even works for characters. Obviously, people change, want different things in life. And Vanellope could naturally develop to a point where she's done with Sugar Rush and wants to change things up. The only problem is, A, we don't see it, and B, it contradicts the narrative of the previous film. Because Vanellope is more or less going turbo. That was another big thing of the first film. Ralph is done like with his life. He's tired of his routine. So he decides to go to another game, and it ends up turning out badly. Like, his game nearly gets shut down, and the entire arcade is nearly threatened by, like, cyborg bugs. I don't really remember. Whatever was going to destroy the arcade in the first game. All because he wanted to leave his post, essentially. So Ralph came to realize that you can't just abandon your life responsibilities for selfish reasons, and you can still find happiness where you are. That was really a really sweet arc in the first film. Vanellope essentially goes through the same arc in this film, but instead of accepting like where she is, she just goes, "No, I'm just going to leave my responsibilities behind." And the film just lets her. So it just lets her get away with going turbo. And it just, I
feel like we are.
She basically does what the villain did. The villain who stole her life, and it just completely invalidates the first film. And I don't know how you write that and don't realize it, but like I really question if the writers of this film even watched the first one.
I feel like we're expecting a bit too much from the Wreck-It Ralph cinematic universe.
Don't let that become a thing. But yeah, point is that
I feel like it's Wreck-It Ralph, man.
Mm-hmm. I just want consistency from my fucking story, man. Like that's just my whole thing with this. It just feels narratively inconsistent with the arc, and it feels like they threw it away for this cheap friendship theme, and they could have incorporated that better. Other than that, like, I don't know, it just feels like you're basically at worst you're saying it's just okay to abandon your responsibilities because you want to have fun, and I don't like that.
It is.
Like, I think like there's a better way to get that friendship theme across without completely screwing over your previous story. And that's just kind of the crux of the film. The internet is completely meaningless in all of this. It's just a backdrop for cultural references, like the Emoji Movie. Hell, it's worse. I say it's worse than the Emoji Movie.
I feel like we could have just... Oh, look, Mr. Arcade Guy plugged in a new video game called Slaughter Race. There you go. There's your movie.
That could have been the movie, but we had to have the internet for some reason involved in all that. I think
because it's trendy.
Yeah. Like, think you could have had a cool theme about, like, upgrades in, like, culture and whatnot. With, like, a new game coming in that's better than the other ones, and, like, how trends evolve without needing the internet. And if you're gonna use the internet, there's so much potential you can do with that. Like, wouldn't it be cool if, like, they find out there's, like, a modernized Wreck-It Ralph game online that's, like, super edgy or cool or hyped up and everything? And Wreck-It Ralph or something? The third movie. That could be something cool to actually utilize old trends. But no, like, maybe reflect on how a game like Street Fighter in the arcade is completely different now in modern day internet. But no, the game world has nothing to do with it, despite the fact that it's about video games. The only game is Slaughter Race, which feels completely underutilized. And the characters feel completely, like, hollow, all for this internet trendy crap. And not even good trends, because like we mentioned, these trends die out. So stuff like Ralph Lawson is meaningless. Ralph as Bob Ross was kind of funny, not gonna lie.
You know what? Can I do a little sidestep real quick?
Yes.
Okay, I was talking with a friend about this last night, and it makes me really sad how, for Bob Ross, painting was an escape.
Mm-hmm.
It was like just a place he would go to where he wanted to get away from it all.
And now everyone's using it as marketing.
And it was like get away from civilization and just try and bring joy to people through the little things. And now any store you go to, he's like a pen, or he's like on a shirt, or he's like in a movie.
It's like Deadpool 2 trailer, and now this.
Yeah, it's like damn. Like, I know this man was always happy. I can't imagine he would be upset about it. But
it's all.
I would hate to have my corpse paraded around a Target like that.
No, for real. They could all. That was almost like they could say something with that, and with how much saturation is with culture. But they don't, because they're more or less part of the problem. Stuff like Ralph having to get a bunch of
arbiters. Disney is the arbiter of oversaturation.
Disney World!
Like, they are the literal things of it. Like, of course, they're gonna pretend like they're self-aware, but they're not gonna call themselves out in any, like, realistic, critical way at all. I don't know what you're thinking. Especially they won't even do it for a children's movie. It's even more unfortunate, because it's all the more reason why they should. But
okay, I think I'm officially out of things to say about Ralph Wrecks My Butthole. So
I have a few minor notes.
Okay.
First one, like, just the whole plot with having to get trendy videos over and over again to raise money feels stupid. It feels like an episode of some really dumb, like, Disney Channel drama.
Where's our fucking money?
Like Bizarre.
Where's our money?
Yeah, why can't we
have 1,000 followers?
Why don't we get money, YouTube?
Where's our money, Daddy YouTube?
But yeah, we need to go to BuzzTube instead. We can get more money there.
I put out quality content on the week, so I put out, no.
If we get 10,000 followers, I will floss like Ralph. I swear.
Money, Susan.
But yeah, so that just felt like a dumb, like, plot thread. I like how Fix-It Felix and Calhoun had literally nothing to do in the movie.
I noticed that. I was like,
they were like the best characters, and they were literally just brushed aside. But yeah, like all the other characters, the cameos felt more hollow this time. Somehow, Sonic talking more in this movie made him feel
less hollow. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog. What else? First, just some minor like compliments. I like that Chun-Li was there. I like what else? They went to the dark web, which ballsy for a kids movie.
For fuck's sake! Oh my god, that was another stupid ass thing.
I laughed the whole way.
You guys should have gone all out with the dark web. You should have just been like, "Oh my god, it's porn and people dying and so much porn." And
oh, good lord!
But it's like, no, this is where you buy computer viruses.
I thought the final battle, while Ralph's clone army was creepy as hell, the design of it looked cool with like them forming into a giant Ralph. But like, I don't like the pervy nature.
This movie made me want to take a giant Ralph.
I liked the Disney princess stuff, especially Ariel. She's my favorite. And
Tiana is my favorite.
Hell yeah. I like that they wore comfy shirts. And like Moana's had the word shiny on it. That was cool. Yeah, I have literally nothing to say about this movie. We're done. This movie is
goodbye, Mr. Ralph. Now, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh wait. Fun fact.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
When I saw this in theaters, there was a snarky motherfucking kid in the background. Like in the audience, who was like this CinemaSin sounding kid who would just like make fun of every plot hole in the movie as it happened.
Wait, Ralph?
No, in a kid in the background of the movie.
No, but
yes, if Ralph breaks the internet, he would like if Ralph breaks the internet.
Did he do the CinemaSin ding ding ding?
You know, like he would go, yeah. He would be like, there's like every time something would like a character would say something dumb, he'd be like, oh my god, like super loud, or like he'd be like, why doesn't he just tell her how she feels, or why didn't they just do this? And he'd like say it really loudly in the theater.
Look,
and I'm just like,
Annika, did you? Annika had something to say.
I'm sorry. CinemaSins has ruined an entire generation of filmmakers.
Correct.
Why would they?
Annika,
They should. CinemaSin should have been in this movie.
Wait,
that would have been
guys, I have such a good segue into our new topic.
Yes.
So the character, Vanellope von Schweetz, is played by Sarah Silverman, and Sarah Silverman plays a Warner Bros. CEO executive.
Oh, yeah.
Space Jam 2: A New Legacy.
Okay,
hold on. Okay, can I try out? Can I try out my segue?
Yes.
Yours is better, so go for it.
Hello?
Oh, did you hear none of that?
No.
Damn it, Discord! Damn it, Discord!
Are you trying to play like media, like from like your computer?
No, I was just trying to fucking play the song from my phone speaker, but I guess Discord like cut out the background noise. But it was going, come on and slam, come on and slam. But
we don't want to get copyrighted anyway, so.
True.
Damn it, that song is so bad good. Anyway, let's talk about fucking Slam Jam, Space Jam, come in my asshole.
A new legacy. Space Jam, a new legacy.
Space Jam, a new face full of cum. Space cum, Rick and Morty, the second one.
That was the name of the movie, yes.
Space shit and fart and LeBron James. And then.
Ready Player One basketball edition.
But even worse, because this whole film literally just feels like an ad for LeBron James.
I was about to. No, it. So much like Ralph Breaks the Internet is Disney kind of sucking itself off.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is Warner Brothers and LeBron James going around in circles, like jerking each other off. Like, oh my God, LeBron, you're so cool. No, Warner Brothers, you're so cool. Look at all these properties we own. Look at all these baskets I've dunked. Oh my God, basketball. Oh my God, it's so cool. Oh my God,
Take your time. take a shot every time someone calls like LeBron James. But you're the king or something.
Yeah,
like
you're the king, LeBron.
You're the king.
My
man.
God.
Yeah, keep calling me the king. Oh God, yeah, keep calling me the king. Oh God.
God, where do we even start with this fucking?
First, I'm gonna do something different. I think I'm gonna get the one good thing out of the way with this movie.
On Cheadle.
Well, okay, two good things out of the way with this
Don
movie.
Cheadle going for the gold.
Don Cheadle was fun. Second thing is just the animation. I actually quite enjoyed the animation of this film.
It's
not
got
the CG, the 2D, yes, not the CG.
No, even then, it's like
really?
it's okay. Sorry, there's nothing technically or fundamentally wrong with the animation, and in some parts it's like actually okay. And the animation part had the one joke I like unironically laughed at in the film. Like everything else, I was laughing because I couldn't believe like what I was watching. Like I was literally, my mental state was declining rapidly as I was watching it. There was one joke that I found funny during that entire thing that I was like, okay, that's actually like kind of okay. But other than that, it was like, I don't know, it just felt a little too stale, in my opinion.
Yeah, more so simplistic, like standard.
Yeah, and I understand that that's like what the Looney Tunes is about, but I felt like they could have gone a little bit more over the top with it, in my opinion.
Mainly because like the Looney Tunes in general haven't gotten any love, especially animation. Like a lot of the Looney Tunes shows and cartoons they promote have been just okay. I mean, Looney Tunes cartoons, I haven't seen that one. I should watch that.
I mean, I think they did a great job, and I will give them credit for that. For providing one of the good things about this.
But Zendaya did fantastic.
Yeah, like, and in general, like, the worlds, even with the CG, outside, the Looney Tunes designs looked pretty good, outside of, like, some of them. Mainly
LeBron can't really act, but neither could Michael Jordan, so I guess that's just expected of our jam stars at this point.
Yeah, all in general, like, I thought the animation was serviceable to surprisingly charming. Because I was just expecting it to just be generic, stale, safe, standard stuff like you see in other movies, but it did good. Other than that, I mean, the movie is just...
Oh, wait, hold on.
Yes?
Can I do like a little side note?
Sure.
Yeah.
Again, I need to get this out of the way. Hugo, I know you were making jokes about this, and I know you were joking, but anybody out there who is listening, if you were angry that Warner Brothers took away Lola's boobies.
Oh no, Lola's tits!
I think you need to crawl up your own ass and not come out.
They nerfed Lola.
If you are actually angry that you can't masturbate to the anthropomorphic rabbit anymore, then I need you to seriously go outside.
Get your fur-dying ass out.
Go outside and look at the sun and touch some grass. Because that is a rabbit. Not only is that a rabbit, it's a fake rabbit, and you're mad that they didn't put big rabbit boobies in a movie for children.
But yeah, in all seriousness, yes.
There were petitions to change her boobies back. when I just wanted someone other than Zendaya to play her. Because no disrespect on Zendaya, but she's not a voice actress.
Yeah.
She wasn't great. I mean, the movie wasn't great, but Zendaya wasn't great as Lola Bunny.
But yeah, I like how Lola's tits was like the biggest news story for this movie.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? And then there were also people mad about the rape skunk. There were people mad about Pepe not being in it. It was like, you guys have to understand that not everything is quote unquote woke. It's just about marketing. If Pepe is going to be in the movie, he's going to be doing rapey things because that's what Pepe does.
Well, to be fair on that one, he was actually supposed to have an arc about growing out of that. According to like the original plot plans, they were going to actually have an arc about him.
People, we don't want to humanize rapists.
True. It's more, and I like everyone. I saw someone point out like the Droogs are in the background of this movie from A Clockwork Orange. Who, if you've seen A Clockwork Orange, are not good people. That's
different. Yeah, that's also different because yes, in The Clockwork Orange, they are rapists. However, they are not rapists in Looney Tunes.
True.
They're just in the background. They would have been if Sylvester. No, if
Pepe.
What Pepe? If Pepe had been
Pepe
in
the
the
Frog.
movie, he would have been doing rapey things.
True.
That's why they cut him out. Pepe is his name?
Pepe Le Pew, yeah.
Yeah, I've just been calling him Rape Skunk.
I'm gonna call him that from now on.
That's why I changed our group chat name to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm sorry. Just people got so fake angry. Like, shut up and just admit you want to masturbate to the bunny.
Rip every furry
Freak.
on the Space Jam. Rip every furry fan. Going on with Warner Brothers right there.
Now,
yeah. We
back to
just the movie, I guess. I mean, I guess the next thing to touch on is the serververse. So everyone's been making comparisons to Ready Player One, and I mean, for good reason.
yeah.
Like the serververse is pretty much just like Ready Player One's like Oasis. It's this big thing that they do in the movie where like they just have all their IPs in there, and it's like the Oh My Disney scene, but cranked up to infinity, basically.
It's such a, hey guys, look at how many things we have. Look at how, yeah, god damn it.
And like, I mean, okay, so it's weird because it feels like they were trying to do social commentary almost on themselves, to a bigger degree, because the whole thing is the serververse works as they have Algae Rhythm, Don Cheadle's character, and basically they clone an actor and put them into virtual simulations of their IPs to make movies with. So they talk about how they can put LeBron in Batman, in Game of Thrones, in Harry Potter. Three IPs that I do not want to see them do anything with for the next 10 years, by the way. But anyways, point is that like they can put him in all that stuff, and they can basically just make movies through computers. And I'm like, that scares me because that's basically our future. That's gonna be the future of movies.
Here we go. Okay, this is my
take the stage.
So here we go. Okay, so little bit of context. For my senior year thesis project, I did a paper and a presentation on the uncanny valley in film and how it's gonna like impact filmmaking in the future. And I briefly talked about in my paper and did some relatively substantial research, academic research into like copyright laws in terms of like actors' licenses, such as after they die. Like how that goes to the next of kin in the like estate or whatnot. And and I was talking about, I was like, maybe it's like kind of possible that like in the future, it's going to become a type of deal where it's like, you just have to get the actor's consent and the actor's like likeness. You just have to buy their likeness, and then you can just start putting them into films. Maybe we'll get to that technological point, because then you won't have like scheduling conflicts and stuff like that. And and of course some people were like, that's really ridiculous and stupid, but literally like 6 months into the beginning of my researching my paper, they came out with the article about how James Dean is going to be in a new film. James Dean, who's been dead for what, like 60 years now, going to be playing in a Vietnam film or something. So it's going to start with that. It's a very slippery slope. It's like
it starts with Peter Cushing in Rogue One.
It starts with
then Carrie Fisher and Rise of Skywalker.
Peter Cushing. Because there are respectful ways to do it, and then there are just not respectful ways to do it. But it's a very slippery slope, because then they're just like, oh, we can do this, so we should do it, even though they don't stop and think, like, they're like, oh, we get the family's permission. But it's like, yeah, but the family isn't that person, though, like, just because that's who they're related to doesn't mean that they get to consent for somebody's likeness. It's an ethical quandary that sounds really stupid when you like say, oh, like all the actors are going to be scanned or whatever. Like, it sounds like really conspiracy theory and stupid, but when you think about it and you see the gradual shift towards that being considered ethically okay. Especially when it comes to actors that have not been alive for a very long time, which I have an extreme problem with because, again, lack of consent here is the biggest issue. Because, like, an actor can't decide whether or not, it's like, oh, let me read a script. Oh, I think it's trash. I don't want to be in this film. But they don't get that decision. Their kin gets that decision.
Hold on. I'm sorry. How did we get here with Space Jam?
Oh, right.
The serververse.
Yeah, basically, the serververse is like, oh, yeah, like, we'll just, like, scan you into the serververse, which, like, again, it's supposed to sound like it's a really stupid, like, it's the evil AI doing this thing, but, like, I'm telling you, I'm calling it now, 20 years from now, Warner Brothers is going to be doing this shit. I'm sorry, it's true. Like, I'm calling it right here, right now.
Yeah,
like, if
I'm holding this studio.
I am not here.
Going to happen.
I am not here to predict the future. I'm here to talk about the Slam Jam, and that's what I'm going to do. Damn it! So the serververse. Let's not plot summarize. Let's just fucking talk about the Slam Jam, the Space Slam.
I will say, Warner Brothers, I'm holding you accountable because you're satirizing this. So if you do this in the future, we're holding you accountable. That's basically just it in a nutshell.
I am staking my claim, and I'm saying it now.
I think it was satire. I think they were just doing it. I think they were just using it as a plot device.
Yeah, because they never, like, bring up, like, any concerns. Like, LeBron's concerns with it are just that he doesn't want to be in movies. He doesn't seem, like, concerned with the idea.
I want to mess up my game.
Yeah,
I want to mess up my game,
he doesn't seem concerned with, like, the acting angle.
I don't want to mess up my game, says LeBron James, who is now in Fortnite.
So
I got an ad for that right before we did this.
We're going to talk about how character LeBron James somehow has more self-awareness than actual LeBron James, because character LeBron James is like, I can't act, and real life LeBron James is like, I'm going to be the fucking star of this film. Instead of
that line where he's like, sports athletes going into film, it never works out. I was just like, who wrote that?
Like,
who wrote that?
Who fucking thought this was a good idea?
Good Lord.
God. This entire film is like, who thought this was a good idea? Okay, structurally, this film is just a mess too. It's not
Jam.
Not even 2 hours long, but it feels like 3.5 hours. Like, it's such a slog.
I thought that Zack Snyder's Justice League was paced better than this, and this shit was fucking.
I can't believe. I totally agree with that. I was thinking. I was like, damn. I sat through on a rainy day by myself and sat down and committed myself to watching the 4-hour cut of the Snyderverse, of the Snyderverse Justice League, and that shit was more well paced than this. And I felt sick after watching the whole thing. I was like, man, I can't do anything else for the rest of of the day. And this took me like literally a period of about like 24 hours to get through. From stop to finish. Like, I had to be like, God, I need to put this up. I need to actually watch something of quality in between this. This is, like, legitimately, like, one of the worst things I've seen in a very long time, which is actually saying quite a lot.
Hey, I mean, I saw Black Widow, like, the next day. So, wait. Okay, all I'm saying is Black Widow to Space Jam 2, not the greatest, like, twofer.
that's a weird...
and then you fuckers made me watch Ralph the movie rake the internet, and I haven't seen a good movie in a while.
Yeah, I feel that. But yeah, either way, the serververse just felt like more of a plot device than actual satire, like we said. When LeBron goes into it and he's like exploring it with like bugs and whatnot, they obviously use that as a chance to bank nostalgia, and it was mixed with their different like,
the inclusion. IPs. If you want to talk about weird, like I'm fine with the guys from Clockwork Orange being in it, because whatever, they didn't play a purpose, they didn't serve a role. But the Game of Thrones, what?
Game of Thrones gets a big role in this.
I was like, yo, it doesn't get a huge role. It's just the fact that it is acknowledged to be in a children's movie, and you just know some kid turns like, what's that?
What's that?
And their mom was like,
like they
I'll
reference
tell you
it
what that...
time and time again, and it's like, what's Game of Thrones, mommy? Emilia Clarke fucks a lot of guys, and there's dragons. Okay.
Boobs and swords and boobs and swords.
Like it's a lot with like their IPs. Like I said, it ranges from serviceable to just like bland. Like DC World was fun. I like the idea of Daffy being like trying to con his way into the Justice League. That seems like something Daffy would do. That's a fun
only liked it out of nostalgia of them bringing back the cool Justice League team from the show.
Yeah, DCAU. I love that.
That's the thing, and I hate myself. I fell for it. I got
the nostalgia.
I was like, oh, that's cool. That's so cool.
I got the nostalgia.
And I was like, no, wait, no, it's Space Jam.
Yeah, I was like, they're trying to get me with my nostalgia. But yeah, I like that they acknowledge
That's what I hate about movies. Like, okay, there's a difference between something like Endgame. Mm-hmm. Endgame's big fan service moment, done very well. 11 years of filmmaking led up to that moment. It felt deserved. Mm-hmm. But then you get to Rise of Skywalker, and you get to Space Jam, like the ending of Space Jam, the final hour of the movie, and it's like IPs. It's like, do you expect me to pause this
and just look at everything?
I think and Ready Player One. It's like, I think you guys genuinely expect me to pause this movie and look for all the Easter eggs, because in Rise of Skywalker, it's just like each pixel holds a different Easter egg. I'm like, no, this is not. I should be watching the movie, not looking for things that I know.
Yeah.
And I caught myself doing it. I would be watching Space Jam, and I'd be like, "Oh, is that the Night King? What the fuck am I doing? I'm watching Space Jam."
Oh, good lord! Like I remember at one point during the game, I noticed so they had Adam West Batman and Adam West Robin in the background with Catwoman, and I noticed at one point Catwoman is the Catwoman from Batman Returns, but then like a few minutes later, it's the Catwoman from Adam West Batman. I'm like, oh, so the Catwoman just changed? Wait, why am I paying attention to Catwoman when we're watching a basketball game? Like, it's just like I got completely wrapped up.
I had another moment like that. I was like, oh, that's cool. Pennywise is talking to the Night King. No, stop it. Space Jam.
But yeah,
don't let them get you, Logan. Watch the stupid movie.
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, like there was a lot there. For the IPs, like that they showed off in the servers, I already mentioned DC World. They had The Matrix, which like, Granny in The Matrix.
The Matrix has never been, after we have had the last like couple years of filmmaking, the more I look at it, the more I realize The Matrix has never really been that good.
Which ones? Because the sequels.
Well, Matrix 1 is great, but then it's like there's really no good follow up, and also I know a guy who has. I know a guy who has seen the fourth one, and he says it's just as bad as the third one.
Yay! But
But it's like the Matrix. I don't really understand why people hype up the Matrix the way they do, and I'm getting off topic, and they're doing it again.
Yeah,
getting me to talk about anything but their shitty ass movie. It's like Ready Player One. Ready Player One was like, maybe if they look for Easter eggs, they won't look for plot.
For real. Then you have Wile E. Coyote and Mad Max chasing Roadrunner. That's a cool utilization of a concept, I think. Then you have Elmer Fudd. Yeah, Elmer Fudd in Austin Powers made me laugh, even though it was completely meaningless. Yosemite Sam and Casablanca, completely pointless, but whatever. What else was there? I think that was it. Oh, Lola in Wonder Woman. Why is Wonder Woman a separate world from DC World? That doesn't make sense. But whatever. The point is, Lola.
Any excuse not to acknowledge Zack Snyder's work.
They play her theme.
The humor is so unfunny sometimes. Like a lot of it is like in the first Space Jam. A lot of the jokes were like, haha, it is so funny when a man kisses a man. It is so funny when men kiss men because gay people are disgusting. Isn't it so funny? That's not normal. And that was like a lot of
X-Bugs.
Yeah, that was a lot of the humor in the first one. But now a lot of the humor in this one is just, we owned this.
Yeah, or dabbing. One of the two.
Well, yeah, just like culture references. What was I was gonna reference something, and then of course like one of the only jokes I can think of right now that isn't either a "we owned this" or a culture reference is look, he has the same name as this other guy.
Oh yeah, Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
That was completely random. I never liked celeb cameos like that. They always, again, it's another example of taking you out of it.
It's so pacing wise. It's just like, let us pause the scene to make a bad joke. Mm-hmm. Okay, now keep going.
Let me explain to you why the pacing is. Why this film is so fundamentally broken, and the pacing is so weird. Because let me tell you this: between the people who created the story and the people who actually touched the screenplay and wrote it, there is 14 writers on this film.
Fucking hell! Like, have you noticed a trend? Every time we review a movie, it has like 20 writers, and it sucks.
It literally has, I mean 14. Like, it has 7 people who wrote the story, 7 people who wrote the screenplay, and I'm like, who thought this was a good idea?
And you could definitely tell that
7 people to come up with the story this shitty. 7 people.
You could definitely tell that there were moments where one writer would be like, "Well, I want Lola to say this," and then another writer would go, "No, I want her to say this," and then they were like, "Well, we'll say everything. Every joke is in the movie."
You'll notice the characters will like flip flop in their personalities, whatnot. Like they have different writers for each line. Especially Bugs. Like he goes 1 second he's like this snarky jerk who's obsessed with his friends. The next he's willing to fucking sacrifice his life at the end. But yeah.
They should have kept him dead. That would have been funny as fuck if they had kept him dead.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a couple notes. One on some of the production general things, because I know we're talking about the shitty writing and the shitty acting because those are the two like most obvious things with this. The production of this is very interesting. The cinematography is some of the most stale corporate things I've ever seen in a film.
That's what happens when 90% of what you're filming is on a green screen, for crying out loud.
Even in like the things that are like clearly like practical sets, it's just so lifeless and dull. And like even with a lot of, and I get that's very typical of a blockbuster film, but even then a blockbuster will occasionally have a thing like, okay, I can kind of see the cinematographer's eye coming through this. I never saw any of that. I saw I saw the camera doing just what the camera does. It's just filming what's happening, not giving anything else to leave up to interpretation, nothing interesting to look at. It's just doing the bare minimum, which is just honestly so insulting to me. Another thing, LeBron James's lines, like when he was in the animated world, what mic was he using? Because it sounded so bad.
It sounded so stale.
Literally you could hear that he was like recording it in like a non-professional environment. Like it was very jarring.
Probably because he was in a non-professional environment. Because COVID. I know like the Toon voice actors recorded from home, so yeah.
But could they not have mixed it better?
True.
And
like in post or something.
It's not even an excuse, because a ton of like animated shows that are on right now or just happened, or like a lot of dubs and everything, people were still doing it from their homes.
True.
Like it sounds the same, because as long as you have the right, you're fine, and as long as you have the right audio mixing team, you're fine. So, but it's like, it wouldn't be as bad if it wasn't for the fact that like that a character in the same scene as him sounds totally crisp and fine, and then he sounds like he's just like washed out because it sounds like a fucking air conditioner is going on in the background, and it's so jarring. I'm like, I'm not even wearing headphones, and this is like screwing me up right now. Like it's like just it's small things like that just totally take you out of it. Yeah, that's another thing. Oh yeah, the break into 3 in this film is actually one of the worst I've ever seen in any film. I understand that not every film has to follow the Say the Cat beats, but literally the part where, because the whole arc is supposed to be like, LeBron James is supposed to be like, you can let loose, it's not just about playing basketball, it's about having fun, so let the Looney Tunes be loony. What makes him want the Looney Tunes to be loony? They're like, can we
He doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to lose.
He's like, they're like, we act loony? He's like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, so, and accepts it.
Break into 3 is supposed to be the obvious option that's always been there all along, but the entire story was building up to that person realizing this is the correct option, even though it's been staring them in the face the whole time. And maybe that's the case, but there's no convincing there. Like, he's not convinced. He flips a switch in 2 seconds.
He's literally just like, wait, you guys want to do what you want to do, like my son. Okay,
it is
and that's
worst change of character. It is the most forced thing ever. Because it's not even just like, it's not even you just saying like, oh, the plot is telling him to do that. No, it's literally just like him in one scene going like, oh no, we're losing. And then the next scene he's like, he's like, no, basketball's basketball.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are loony now. Like, there's literally no
math is math.
Change. There's no change here at all. Like, there's no reason for him to do so. There's no how or why here. It's just like, okay, it's the obligatory break into 3. He's got to find the new option. Like, it's so awful. It's one of the worst ones I've ever seen.
There's no for simplicity. There's no secret stuff. That's a reference to Space Jam 1. Because halfway through Space Jam 1, as the Toons are losing and they're not sure how they can win, Bugs comes up with a plan to take a bottle of water and say that it's quote unquote secret stuff, and and he convinces the other Toons that it makes them better at basketball when it's really just plain water. Yeah, so they drink it, and then they actually play better at basketball. And it's basically like the power to believe in yourself. And that's a much more convincing idea than just saying, yeah, just go be loony.
No, Hugo, you absolute idiot.
What?
They won the game because of Bill Murray.
Of course! I didn't know Dan Aykroyd was in this picture, but yeah. Anyways, there's a reference for you. But
he's a Ghostbuster!
But yeah, what was I talking about? But I guess in general, we'll talk about the story or lack thereof in the film.
Oh man, I thought we had already covered that.
Yeah, the main crux, LeBron James has to win a game against his son, who's been hijacked by
There's
algae
a thing
rhythm.
for you. There's a question I had throughout the entire. It's like algae is like, to let you leave, you have to beat me in a game of basketball. And I'm like, why?
Why? And
why?
Because why? Okay, so he got Dom because Dom likes basketball. I'm just like, okay, so
Dom likes family.
And the thing is, he sends LeBron to the Toon World. Space Jam is a movie in this universe. Okay, let's clarify that. Like, Algie works for Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers made Space Jam. He has knowledge on the Warner Brothers movies, so he should be very well aware of what happened the last time.
The characters are like, we've done this before.
Yeah, he should be very much aware of what happened the last time the Looney Tunes played basketball against impossible odds with the help of an NBA All-Star. Like, I don't know why he sends LeBron to the Looney Tunes for a game of basketball and then gets surprised when they go loony. Like, did he not watch Space Jam? Because again, they acknowledge it's a movie in this universe, and the Toons are aware that they've already done it before. So I don't know what Algie was thinking. He basically set himself up for failure. I for one think you should have just sent them somewhere else. Oh, Lord, could you imagine Space Jam with DC characters or fucking the Matrix cast?
Well, funny you should bring that up.
Oh,
but
boy.
After the quote unquote success of Space Jam 1, they were going to make a sequel called Skate Jam with Tony Hawk.
Yes.
But due to the failure that was Looney Tunes Back in Action, they canceled it.
Underrated.
And now we are stuck with Space Jam 2: A New Legacy.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine that? Good Lord. Anyways, point is, I don't know what Algie was thinking. I don't know why. It has to be basketball because, Dom likes basketball, and it just feels contrived.
Literally, there's no reason for it to be basketball. It's just
Space Jam.
We need to the plot around basketball because that is what Space Jam is.
Somehow,
why could you not just kill each other? Fight to the death.
For real. The first Space Jam, where the Looney Tunes made the game of basketball because they were purposely trying to win it in their favor because the moron aliens were small, short, couldn't play basketball. That makes sense. But this movie is just basketball because why not? And that's it. And we're okay. Other than that, I feel this whole, and also Algie is fucking insane. He kidnaps hundreds of people. Literally sucks them out of reality.
I'm supposed to believe that a computer algorithm has emotions in this.
Yeah, so somehow he's able to tap into all technology, which I guess is commentary on security.
No, he's not. I walked in on my brother watching it.
There's no.
That
So
sounds
yeah, he
very
can like
wrong out of
he
context.
could
But okay,
see
continue.
he could see technology,
Mhm.
and I forgot this detail. But I walked in on my brother watching it, and he can't tap into it. But then, Dom's scanning technology gives Al G the power
Oh
to
my god, yeah, you're
to
right.
bring people in. And it's like,
Somehow
how is this 10-year-old child developing systems that allow us to
can transmute humans into digital realms? Good lord.
No fucking sense. Hey guys, we got. Have you seen my video game? I am building my own
That
video
is
game.
dialogue in this movie.
Building. No, that is not just one time. That is like
Also, that's not how
multiple
game
times.
design works.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't have a game that deletes what fucking
That kid needs to seriously improve
man.
his computer backup, man.
My character's gone. It's gonna take me like 10 days to fix it. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, just back up your hard drive, bro. I don't even know computers, and even I'm sitting here like, what is going on? But yeah, either way. Point is that Algie kidnaps all these people for the Space Jam game, and he's all like, if LeBron loses, you're all stuck here. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? I thought he had a grudge with LeBron. Why is he kidnapping hundreds of people, including celebrities like Michael B. Jordan, for a game that they didn't sign up for? Like, this just feels completely contrived.
Like, you think that if he's gonna make it out of here, that he's not gonna be decommissioned after kidnapping people?
And that's something I want to get to at the end. But yeah, basically, this just feels super contrived, and I feel like if you needed an audience, just have the other IPs be the audience. Like, they're already there. So just have the people in the serververse be the audience who are commentating. Oh, small nitpick. Why are the Monstars from Space Jam 1, rooting against the Toon Squad? When at the end of Space Jam 1, they joined the Toons and, allied with them. Why are they competing against them now? Did you people actually watch the first movie?
No, we're gonna drive ourselves even more insane trying to make sense of this.
Another thing I forgot to mention with the technical stuff, a lot of people noticed how they they have so much shit in this movie that they had to reuse models. The Iron Giant's model in this movie is the one from Ready Player One with the broken leg from that movie. I know, a lot of people point out the leg hasn't been finished because they were repairing it in Ready Player One, so they just literally ripped the same model from it. King Kong's model is, I'm pretty sure it's the same one from Godzilla vs. Kong. The Monstars, when they're cheering, they just took the shot from Space Jam 1 and just animated it in. So yeah, they just had to rip and copy and paste a lot of stuff because of how much is in this movie. Either way, the plot we were talking about, LeBron just has to bond with his son, gets sucked in a game, and they pretty much just do Space Jam. The Toons are up against an opposing team with super strength and the powers of established NBA stars. They get their asses handed to them in the first half. They go in the locker room and they complain, and then through the power of self-belief, they come back and they just start using their Looney Tune powers to cheat. I mean, win the game. And then it comes down to a last 10-second shot with the NBA All-Star having to make an impossible dunk, and then he wins, and they all go home. It's the same movie, except somehow with less substance. I will say, the Looney Tunes overall felt less utilized. I guess they had more stuff to do in the other DC worlds, but they didn't really feel as fun as they could be, and that's probably just because they were CG models. But it just didn't feel as fun, the game. It just felt like a basketball game with a bunch of unconvincing CG characters just because. There was none of that fun flair. There was no Pulp Fiction reference. That's one of my favorite references, by the way. There was just none of that. It was just an empty, stale fest of corporation and doo-doo. Yeah, that's basically the best summary of the film, honestly. Also, CGI Don Cheadle. Do I even need to say anything? Don Cheadle turns himself into a giant basketball player, and he is the stuff of nightmares. Oh my gosh, that shit's scary. That it looks like when what's his name? Fucking Dwayne Johnson was in The Mummy. Remember his CGI phase? It literally looks like that. Oh my god. It's so bad. Oh, but yeah. It was not good. I feel like I it's not good. Other than that, the goon squad, the monsters they had to fight, they looked cool, I guess, but I didn't care about them because they weren't fleshed out. They didn't have charisma like the Monstars, and yeah, the game wasn't even fun. That's just kind of what I'm getting at here. The actual basketball game, the Space Jam, felt empty. I don't even know why they even called it Space Jam. It's just very empty and forgettable.
I got nothing to say anymore.
Other than that, I want to say the ending with them. So everyone goes home at the end. So Warner Brothers is fucked because everyone's gonna report how a AI that they made literally kidnapped hundreds of people. So they're just gonna go bankrupt because of algae. Oh my goodness! But yeah, they're just screwed as a company. They're gonna be like sued to the ground for this. Yeah. So what I'm saying is no Space Jam 3. But yeah, it's a bad scene for them. I would love to watch that movie. I would love to see them try to con their way out of responsibility for this. That sounds infinitely more interesting than whatever this is. The People versus Warner Brothers coming soon. But yeah. LeBron's whole lesson with his family, learning to like his son and appreciate what he wants to do. It was cheesy, stereotype family movie, whatever, and I didn't care. No, none of them could act. LeBron couldn't act. His kid couldn't act. His kid acted better than him, for Christ's sake.
You did. The emotional crying parts, I was like, wow, this child actor is doing better than this adult. He's not doing great, but he's doing better.
Don Cheadle had energy as a villain, so I'll appreciate that, even if he was a dumbass character.
He knew it was stupid, and he just kind of embraced it, and I'll give him points for that, so.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of just the whole movie in a nutshell. Yeah, it's a cash. What did we expect? I should have seen it coming. It's a cash grab.
I'm not even mad anymore. I'm just like.
You guys want to play some Fortnite?
Tired. I'm just
disappointed. It's just
drained.
Mm-hmm. It's what we should have expected. A cash grab. Many years too late, just for money and marketing. LeBron was just it's hilarious for all the wrong reasons. Let's put it like that. I don't want to see any more of Space Jam. I don't think people hold it up as too much of a cultural icon, and I honestly find that a bit overrated.
I'm about to say it.
What?
Release the Skate Jam cut.
Yes.
Release the Tony Hawk cut.
Tony Hawk cut, yes. But yeah, there was like a bunch of Space Jam spin-offs, not just Skate Jam. There was gonna be, I think Slam Jam was actually one of them. But never mind. Point is that Slam Jam. Point is that like this just felt empty. I felt like they could have done something. I don't know. As a fan of Looney Tunes, this was not it. As a fan of like animation, this was not it. As a fan of a lot of these IPs, it was overstuffed. Yeah, I don't know. It just felt disingenuous and corporate, as we all expected it would. I just think that if we're gonna like make a new IP, if you really want to do all this stuff, you might as well just make a Ready Player One sequel, because that's clearly what they wanted to do. A Ready Player One styled Looney Tunes movie could have been simple on its own. You didn't need all the Space Jam hype behind it. But yeah, I at the end of the day, I guess are we all done with Slam Jam, The Force Awakens? Last note,
and kill me.
I had a joke about I had a joke about Ray Fisher in here. I'll save it for later.
Whoa, a joke at his expense, or a joke
about his situation in the movie? Not at his expense though.
How can Ray Fisher tie into this?
I'll explain after we're done recording.
What? No, you can't. It's a podcast. You can't.
Okay. I mean, because I saw this on a review. I saw it on a review.
You know that our show that we are legally obligated to mention Zack Snyder, the Snyderverse, at least at one point during.
It was a reference to
We have a mutual agreement with you two.
I just wrote down like, lol, the villain is the black guy who gets fucked over by Warner Brothers as relation to Ray Fisher.
I saw that.
I thought that was a little too ironic. Like, obviously they made this movie before all that happened, but I just think it's a little too ironic that all lined up perfectly. So yeah, Ray Fisher did not get posterized.
I don't think they did make this before that happened.
Really?
Well, it all went down in 2017.
Oh, true. Maybe
I mean, they've been gaslighting the fuck out of him ever since, but, you know.
Maybe this is all an elaborate scheme.
It happened in 2017.
Good lord. But yeah, Ray Fisher has not been posterized like Don Cheadle was. So, you know, we're just waiting. If we find out on the news that Ray Fisher gets trapped in a poster, we know who to point the finger at.
I really hope that I get to see more of Ray. I think he's a great actor, and I think he's going to have a great career.
But yeah, that was just my little joke of irony for the film. That's one of the only interesting things about the film, and it has nothing to do with the film. Yeah, so I guess in total, our two films here, unnecessary sequels that only use the films as a backdrop for their marketing. I feel like you can do nostalgia and references without them being like this on the nose, if that makes sense. Because, you know, if I see something nostalgic, I'll be like, hey, I know that. But I don't want the movie to literally just be that. You can't let your marketing delude actual storytelling or whatnot. Which both of these movies failed to. Because instead of focusing on story, like Ralph Breaks the Internet contradicts its own story just so it can shove in a bunch of nostalgic references to Disney. Space Jam sacrifices the goodwill of its original concept so it can make a bunch of references to Warner Brothers. And that's how we end up with more crap like this. I just think you need to just prioritize good storytelling, as we always do. And yeah, have a point. Honestly, we were gonna cover Ready Player One with this too, but I don't want to touch on that.
No,
never again.
We're not talking about that movie.
We're done.
That's a whole other fucking can of worms for me.
But yeah, long story short,
I just hate movies like this.
For
it's
real.
so annoying. I hate it when the studio is
movies? They're basically commercials.
Let's see how much shit we can pack in before, you know, they start. Also, I thought the Iron Giant was Disney.
Me too, but apparently it's Warner Brothers, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It's always been. Wait, I thought it was Fox.
I think the rights are up in the air.
Fox is Disney.
I've seen it on Disney, but like I'm pretty
It's
sure.
your recommendations time.
But yeah, either way, that's the movies in a nutshell. Don't watch them. Please support, you know, creative art. Blah blah blah. This is the most blatant example of the corporate system. And
it is Warner. Sorry.
Well, yeah, what do you expect? Animaniacs were in it. I noticed that, and I swear if they make an Animaniacs Space Jam, I will fucking throw up. Okay. Recommendations, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, Hugo forced me into it, sort of. But yeah, My Hero Academia is pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. It's, you know, I mean, it ain't perfect. It ain't the best TV show I've watched, but you know, when they do the good stuff, they do the good stuff really, really, really well. Mm-hmm. You know, you got to slog through some of the stuff in the beginning, but I promise it does get better. But it is like, you know, I mean, I think it's, you know, it's more optimistic, and that's kind of something we kind of need right now, you know? You know, and it's got some interesting ethical quandaries that a lot of the superhero, you know, genre stuff doesn't really cover right now. It's a very different perspective, you know, which I appreciate. So that's good. I haven't finished all of it, but The Passion of Joan of Arc, I think, I mean, if you're interested in film history or like how cinematography has evolved, go watch that. It's a silent French film that was made in the 1920s, and the cinematography is so innovative looking that I honestly thought it was made in like the 50s or the 60s. It's so ahead of its time, and it's very. It's just watching it is just very interesting. The score is actually quite good as well. The performances are actually pretty solid too for a silent film. So if you're into that, that's a cool thing to watch. It's on HBO Max, so if you got that, check it out. It was lost for like a really long time. Then they found it like in the 80s or something. I don't know. Anyway, so that's a totally different thing. I think that's kind of all I have right now.
So that's 2.
So I've been trying to wait from
yeah.
Because cool.
Triple M. So do you have 2 recommendations?
I have 1.
Okay.
Because I'm tired. Well, technically I have 9.
Oh boy. Okay, well pick 2 of the 9. Pick 2 of the 9.
No, I have 9, Hugo, and
okay.
you're gonna understand.
Here we go.
The Fast and the Furious movies.
Okay.
No.
The whole saga?
I used to think that they were not cinema. But then, last Wednesday, I sat down with my friends after a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, what should we do? And someone said, let's watch The Fast and the Furious. And we watched it.
All 9
and then we watched the second one.
Oh.
And then we watched the third one. And then for the next 24 hours, we watched back to 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 back, all Fast and Furious movies. And then we went and we saw the 9th one. And I gotta say, there is some genuinely fun fucking filmmaking in these 9 movies.
So there
are some duds.
They're actually good.
There are some duds.
Mm-hmm.
There are some duds. The 4th one is a dud and the 6th one is a dud.
Ugh.
But the 5th one is great. The first one is great. The second one has one of the funniest lines I've ever heard in cinema. And the 7th one made me cry.
Ooh.
And the 9th one was better than Black Widow. So, I mean, I'm just saying, it's not high art, but there's a really negative stigma against these movies, in the media, and I don't think it's fair, because they're really not that bad,
So it's like just fun cinema, just like fun, good
Yeah, they drive a fucking car in space. What kind of high art are you looking?
That sounds awesome, bro.
Oh, wait, yeah, no. Each movie, they get more and more crazy, right? Fast 1 is about racing and street crime. Fast 2 is about racing and street crime. Fast 3 is just about racing. Fast 4 is about drug running cartels and racing and family.
Mm-hmm. It's
Fast
about family.
5, Fast 5 is about heists and family. And Fast 6 is about saving the world.
Oh shit!
And
this sounds
and
awesome.
Also memory loss and amnesia. Fast 7 is about saving the world and also like a revenge-driven story, and that's the one that made me cry because it's so fucking good. It's so surprisingly good. Fast 8 is about mind control.
Ooh.
And intrigue and saving the world. And Fast 9 is about going to space and driving a car in space.
That sounds awesome.
You think that I'm joking, but they drive a car in space.
I gotta watch that shit.
They drive a car in space. And John Cena is in them.
Hype.
There's also a spin-off movie, but you can kind of skip that one. But the spin-off movie is about superheroes.
Hobbs and Shaw, right?
Yes, it's about cyborgs and superheroes and saving the world and, most importantly, family.
Nice.
So I recommend sitting down and just dipping your toe in the water and watching Fast and Furious 1.
All right. So I'll take Fast and Furious 1 and Hobbs and Shaw as your recommendation.
No.
Okay, not Hobbs and Shaw.
Not Hobbs and
Good
Shaw.
To know. Fast and
Just
Furious.
do Fast 1 and Fast 2.
Okay. Other than that, now it's my turn. So, Space Jam 2 made me want to go back and just reflect on the Looney Tunes, because I like Looney Tunes. I like Looney Tunes more than Disney. So first recommendation is the real good Looney Tunes movie that is completely underrated. Space Jam ain't got nothing on this. Looney Tunes Back in Action. I love that movie. It's amazing. It's not high art again, like you said. It's a fun utilization of live action and animation in the same world. It is simply a fun action adventure thing. And the Looney Tunes just doing loony things with real people and cracking jokes. And what more could you want? It still makes me laugh to this day. A lot of jokes went over my head. It is surprisingly meta. And because we see, like we've talked about, these movies making internet jokes that age like within a few months. Everything that this movie jokes about has perfectly aged, like in the past for like over like 10 years somehow. All the jokes are even more relevant today, that they make about like the industry and whatnot. So I think that's pretty funny. Yeah, it's a good movie. Better than Space Jam in my opinion. Everyone has nostalgia for Space Jam. I think this one's the one that gets slept on. I consider it the true sequel because apparently on IMDb it's listed as Space Jam 2. It's listed as following it, so take that as you will. I think I pieced it together. Okay, think about this. Space Jam: A New Legacy ends with the Looney Tunes in the real world. Like I don't know how, but somehow they get to the real world and they're living with LeBron James now. Looney Tunes Back in Action has the tunes in the real world already. So the way I see it, Space Jam: A New Legacy is a prequel for Looney Tunes Back in Action to explain how they got to the real world. But no, in all seriousness, they're not connected. But it's a good movie, better than Space Jam, like I said. And more people need to watch it. And you will fall in love with the Looney Tunes again. Other recommendation is a weird piece of media that no one remembers. It is called Lunatics Unleashed. It is like... Okay, this is completely weird, but it is this future...
Is this the superhero one?
Yes, it is the future descendants. Yeah, the future descendants of the Looney Tunes.
The edgy 14
yeah.
version of Looney Tunes.
Basically,
Got it.
If Batman Beyond meets Looney Tunes,
No.
you get that. It is whack. It's okay, I guess. Like the writing is very typical Saturday morning cartoon. I just love it for how nonsensical the idea of 23rd century superhero Looney Tunes is. So yeah. It's pretty fun. Now it still manages to capture the comedy of like the original cartoon while also having a more action-packed tone. So yeah, check it out if you can, just for the weirdness. I think the last time they acknowledged it was that like Animaniacs' reboot like referenced them for like 2 seconds. But yeah, it's something. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, don't watch hack products. Get ready for Space Jam 3, The Attack of the Angry Audience That Got Kidnapped, Return of Algae Rhythm, and Wreck-It Ralph 3, Ralph Goes to Jail for Child Predation. Yeah.
Space Jam 3, the electric suing Boogaloo.
Yep. So yes, thank you everyone, and we are signing off, and tune in for future podcasts.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.